Welcome back to Daily Flash. And this week's Financially Speaking, we are focused on the phrase financial literacy. Joining us to talk about it is the head of Freedom Founders, Dr. David Phelps. Dr. David, welcome.
Thanks, Andrea. Great to be here.
So tell us about the financial literacy program you developed for the state of Florida schools.
Certainly. Well, I'm working with a group of 13 others that were chosen to enact the new financial literacy requirements that were created by and passed by the Senate and the House in Florida last year. Governor Ron DeSantis passed the bill. Florida is now one of 7 states that actually has a financial literacy requirement for graduating high school students. There's 34 other states that have pending legislation, but you think this would be a bipartisan effort. It just takes a lot of work to get it there. So I'm part of a group that is working on detailing the principles and the concepts that are mandated by the Senate Bill 1054 in Florida, and then working in the background also with some other entrepreneurial people, creating some additional resources to add on to or embellish, I think, what the core curriculum is ensuing to do.
Dr. Phelps, it would seem like a no-brainer that financial literacy is extremely important for anybody, but why now and why so important for our youth coming up K through 12?
Yeah, I think, Andrea, it's so important. It's always been important, but more so than ever today. I mean, think about the kids that are graduating high school today and entering a workforce where, yes, there's a lot of demand for jobs, but we have high interest rates right now. Credit card debt's an all-time high. Household debt's an all-time high. We have potentially a recession on the way. So it's a tough time to come out of school. And then if you have higher education debt, which many have going on to vocational or higher education, managing that debt or not managing the debt can really create some real issues. It can be a real hamstring to young people trying to get started in life. So developing some prudent financial principles, some concepts, some skill sets that they can take out into the real world and start to managing their money and their personal budgeting gives them a real faster pace in the world that's right now is much more difficult than it was, I think, even several generations ago.
Yeah, I could have used this. I mean, we would all say algebra. What are we going to use algebra for? I could have used a finance class for sure. What do you think ultimately these students will take away and carry through in their adult lives from learning financial literacy?
Yeah, what I want them to understand is that there is a lot of hope, and just not having the skill sets to understand basically how interest works or compounding with your savings, or essential contracts like renting a home or buying or leasing a car, or just other issues like insurance. You know, what kind of insurance should I have? What are some of the different bank accounts? How do I manage my personal spending, my budget? These are life skill sets that, again, as you said, are not taught in most curriculum today. And just having these elements of how this works just gives, I think, young people a better foray into the environment, the work, the career, going into business. These are all skill sets that are just fundamental at the core.
It's surely a confidence, a self-esteem builder here. Why do you think there hasn't been more of a focus on financial education for K through 12?
Well, that's a great question. And I have been blessed to be involved with the Florida Board of Education, which many of them are teachers. They're actually, in the administration. And there are some great teachers. Education gets a bad rap in a lot of cases, but I found these people, and there's always great people that really advocate for the student. These people are, yet there's still a lot of bureaucracy in government, in public education. The bureaucracy is there. Somebody has to have the patience and the persistence to work through it for the benefit of the kids, and that's what these people are doing. I'm really a tag along in this regard, and I'm going to back in, but their advocacy is really working hard. So I think it's really a formidable challenge to try to get anything passed in legislature that advocates for kids, because there's just so many headwinds out there that cause these great efforts just to fall by the wayside.
Yeah, a lot of red tape, as you mentioned. When will the curriculum start in Florida schools, or has it already?
It's going to be going back through the passing through the process in Florida right now. So it's mandated to start for the entering high school students in 2023, this fall. So those entering 9th grade will be under this new curriculum and have to have a 1/2 credit to pass high school, and this curriculum is going to be part of that.
And Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis has a very aggressive plan when it comes to education. So how does this play a role in his latest education plan?
Well, I think there's a financial literacy council that rated Florida as a B, which is not bad, A to F, B, and they said by passing this financial literacy curriculum, that will move Florida to an A status. So I think it bodes well for the leadership that Governor DeSantis has shown in many respects, but certainly in this case, advocating for young people, their education, and their financial future.
And I could see this maybe being a map for other states to follow. What do you think?
Yeah, I think great leadership in all respects. Those people have to shine, and when they shine, they kind of hold a torch for others and say, "Hey, if they can do it, why can't we? Why can't we do the same thing to help our young people?" And so I'm hopeful that this will be a movement that carries forward.
It's so true, and finance is so important, especially when you get out into the adult world. Dr. Phelps, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right, for more information, you can go to drphelps.com or freedomfounders.com. Riesa.